Welcome, Namaste, Namaskar. Welcome back to Jalprayag. I'm going to continue on the same topic called passage plan. If you remember, we already done two parts of passage plan. I'm going to go into the third part today, and let us see what we have finished till now. If you remember, we have done two videos, 109 and 110, which were dealing with a couple of topics. Let me just show you what topics were there. They were the segments and aspects of your passage plan, and then we started with one of the components of the passage plan also, and that was appraisal. Now today I'm going to do planning, and after planning I will have one more part of the video which will deal with execution and monitoring. Just to remind you, planning part is also slightly big topic. Why? Because that is where you are exactly doing all the physical work. In appraisal, you are gathering all the data and gathering all the publications, but now you're going to put that into effect. So let us get into planning part of it, where your one of the most basic job is to make the route plan and chart markings. But before I go on the actual uh, data, what you do on board, I'm going to first look into the only exam part of it. This is something which your second mates and the mates should remember when we come to the exam part of it. I've been telling this again and again. You normally have around 20 to 25 minutes for you to finish off one question. So with that limited time, please stick on to something minimum mandatory. That's it. So please don't deviate from this. You will not have time otherwise. So what are those minimum mandatory? Let me just give this. I mentioned this on one of the old videos. I think it was 78, which I've shown you earlier. There also I mentioned this. I'm doing it again because this is the actual videos regarding passage plan. Your first job is please highlight your dangers and no-go areas. Then mark your waypoints, give them numbers, and you need to get the lat long. Then between the waypoints, please draw the course and measure the distance. And then give a paddle indexing wherever possible. So I would say for the 25 minutes or 20 minutes of your question and passage plan for an exam, these four are more than enough, because besides this, you are going to plot everything and then you'll have to make a table also. So let me show you a quick way of plotting. Again, as I said, this is there in earlier video number 78. But for those people who are looking at a question which is exclusively passage plan, this is good enough. So you can have a look. I've shown you this green color circle as if that is my position. Then, as I said, my first job is to highlight the dangers. I've chosen two colors. You can see I'm marking red blocks, and then I will mark orange blocks, which are slightly lesser in terms of the danger. And that is based on your drafts and all those criteria. So I've just marked orange color also. If you see any note like the C caution, you need to verify that what it is and you need to read that. I highlighted this small boy here because suddenly it looks like a cluttered, so I marked it also. These are all will help you in making the passage plan and for the other navigators on the bridge also. This was only the departure area. I'm going to show you the full kind of passage plan that may come in the exam. Here again, I'm showing you those caution. Okay. I've shown something which is one more near this top of the island. So you can see there's 11.7 meter charted depth and you got a local magnetic anomaly. You need to be careful on this. Now let me start on the waypoints. I will take the green color circle as my first waypoint. I can call it waypoint 1, waypoint 0, that doesn't matter. And I'm going to mark my waypoints. And that's my destination, which is the end of the chart for this particular exam question. please join the lines and then measure the course and distance. Again, a reminder for those people who are appearing for exams, these the violet color course and distance which I have written, just like the last one, 047 degrees and 16 nautical miles. Always keep it a good decent distance away from your track. So in real life also, in a paper chart, that is what you should do, because you'll be marking your positions and you can deviate here and there. You can have a cross-track error. I've seen a lot of students, what they do is they put this direction arrow mark and 0472 16, whatever I'm writing, like one more I've written here. You draw it so close to the track that you don't have place to even mark your position also. So this is something which you should look at and think it as a common sense also. Keep it a good distance, decent distance, 2 centimeter or an inch or something. Keep it away so that and the size of this writing also should depend on your distance also, so that everyone can read. So I mark them. Now, the last step, what I'm supposed to do out of the four minimum mandatory is your parallel indexing. Please see, I marked the parallel indexing, let us say 6 miles, parallel indexing 8.5, parallel indexing 11. Anything more than 10 on the radar, please avoid it. After that, the picture becomes, it is not very conspicuous for you to use. Unless you have a Raycon, yes, you can trust it. But just an island, isolated places, you will not get it properly. So try to stick on to less than 10 miles. That should be good enough. Please follow that. So these are your minimum mandatory. And I said to end this, you will have to draw this table. Again, this table, please remember, I have written only what is required. I have given you a waypoint number, lat long, course and distance. I've written distance to go, you can skip that. And you can add a line called remarks. You see I've written departures and parallel indexing and all. So as far as exam, MMD exam is concerned, please stop here. Please don't do anything more. There's no need. You don't have time. So please don't kind of consume the time which is allotted for the next question. So stop with this one. But in real life, you don't stop here. You have to go beyond. And it doesn't matter if it's paper chart or it is your ECDIS. The principles of markings, whether you do it with a pencil or you do it electronically, principle is still the same. So I'm going to show you more markings which are actually required for your passage plan. Your below point and the below line. If you have anything critical you want to give advice of sounding checks, you can give that. If you want to try to cross-check your position using your depth contours, you can do that. In case there is a change in depth units, you should mention that. Particularly, this was a problem in paper charts. Paper chart, you will see in the South American ports or the Caribbeans and all, there were places like Venezuela and all used to have charts with feet and fathom. So when you change over from meter to feet and fathom, it's very critical for you to mark this. Okay. Again, next chart markings, usually we used to write on the paper. Even now, if you see a paper chart on the edge of your outer edge of your boundary, you will see it will be written next chart. It tells you what is the next chart. Position fixing tools and intervals. Any cautions for piracy, fishing, and traffic? If you want to call engine room, give them notice or call master. Your radio reporting, calling pilots, ship reporting. Now, this is quite valid in these days. Why? Because you are many times entering war zone. So usually there will be insurance issue for you. And then in case you want to highlight something regarding PSSA, your archipelagic sea lane, ICA, SICA, and all this. And one more thing you should be aware is this right whale or humpback whale caution zones. Okay, so you will find this in your ALRS. You might have a reporting, and as well as if something goes, usually a sighting itself is reported. So you're supposed to keep away from them, not to go and hit them also. So please be careful on this one. About point, point of no return, how you may need a contingency anchorage. You may need an alternate route also, which can be pre-planned and kept in hand. There might be places where you need extra lookout for various reasons, even because of visibility also. Any important TNP notice and navtext warning in case of paper chart, it was only done by pencil. Even now, please remember any chart correction question which comes in your exam, please do it only with pencil. Do not draw with the pen. There's something called clearing ranges and clearing bearing. I will talk about these things maybe later in some videos because it itself is a separate topic. If you want to give any tidal data, streams, if you see some place is critical, if you have any strong ocean currents and solitons also. So in case you want to highlight and caution. Safety of navigation, please remember, is more important than distance. So don't try to cut corners to save some miles. For you, priority is safety. Okay. These are your normal markings. Now let us go a little beyond them. I will look into the write-up sections where you need to write some theoretical part, which is needed for the navigators to know. This you would have compiled and got it during your appraisal part of it. Okay. The first one is a title sheet, or I can call it cover sheet also. I'll just show you two samples. These are very old samples, so please bear with me, and it is only to show you how it may look. You have to follow your own company's format. You see here is a very, very old format I've written. It's a passage from Rastanora to Milio. And you can see I've given you different segments of the passage with distance, speed, and ETA. Then just given you a gist about time zones of the both the ports. I've written how much clock advance should be there. What is the cargo on board? I know the drafts are ready, then I would have written the drafts. Okay. This is your cover sheet one or title sheet one. There could be one more title sheet. Please see here. This time in this, I'm talking about various segments, charts required. These are all BA charts, anyway, paper charts. Sailing directions, what all you need, ALRS, list of lights, tide tables, and other miscellaneous publications written. I mentioned navtext stations also, and weather fact stations. So this is, as I said, is a very old one, but it was the way we did it, physically writing everything. Now let us look at a summary. Now you are supposed to write summary of a lot of things which you gathered from appraisal. So that means I'm going to borrow those things and write a summary. I'm going to tell you what possible summary could involve. Your departure, arrival, and ocean passage data, which could deal with wind, weather, current, and stream, pilotage requirements. Your drafts, UKC, safe time for passage on the shoals also. Traffic piracy, war zone lookout, all whatever you needed. Any reportings, mediums, and channels. If you are transiting to restricted waters like straits, so if you have any speed restrictions, example, for a VLCC Malacca, Singapore, they ask you to maintain 12 knots to catch up with the tides in UKC. Archipelagic sea lane, please limit your distance, the cross-track error from the axis of the ASL. Any cargo related route deviations, I've already mentioned this earlier. You might find this in your ship's routing. So you might have to deviate because of the cargo. Please see a sample of this summary. Written is the departure Jeddah and then Jeddah to Strait of Gubal. You can see I've written a lot of things, ETA, how much should be there, what are the currents and all those things. A quick one on the top part of this. Point number 4, please see, fly Saudi flag at foremast at all times in the port. So you'll have to be careful. Some local regulations ask you to fly 24 hours. Some of them want you to get it down on the sunset. So please be aware of this. Ask the local agent for furthermore. Now I'm going to finally draw the route sheet. Route sheet is exactly what I had shown you in the passage plan earlier. Please see here a sample. The first part is a normal sailing. The second part is a pilotage. So you can see it looks very similar, a lat long course and distance. And here I have added a lot of things. How much is the time of each leg and what is the UKC at each minimum UKC in the each leg. and how much is the width of the channel. All those things have been mentioned here, so you might need it in real life. I'll show you the last table. This is purely on the Malacca and eastbound. So 1 fathom bank to the eastern bank. This is a little bit more elaborate. I've shown you that also. And one of the things important was speed limit 12 knots for you because of VLCC. And VTI is reporting was straight trip. And I'll just show you one sample of the straight trip. It's an old one. Please remember, it's an old one. As I said, bear with me. I don't have the latest one, but it's an old one. Doesn't matter. You please use the latest one. These are all screenshots taken from the book, the paperbacks. You might have to prepare a tidal sheet and UKC calculation for Malacca Strait. That was mandatory company's requirement for every passage. And right now, for EGDIS, you need your safety control data, the various data is what you feed. I'm showing you this small screenshot of the reportings. So what was that VTI is reporting for Malacca and Singapore Straits. So you don't have to go into detail right now. I'm just showing you just a sample of it. You can see each area sector. When you change, you'll have to change your VHF channels. Then for the normal passage, it was different, and for port operation, it was different. Singapore port operation, it was different. The planning part, that's it. And I know planning part also was slightly bigger, but this much was required for you to do the planning. I hope this video was good enough for you to understand how to go about making a real passage plan also. It will guide you, and for the exam purpose also. Now, in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal with the last two parts of your components, execution and monitoring. That is slightly lesser compared to what we did in appraisal and your planning. These were two big topics. So with that, the theoretical part of a simple passage planning question is going to be over. So I'll come back soon with that. Please keep watching Jal Pirag. Until then, Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskar.